It's time to get this party started. Once again, we are back in Civilization VI, picking up right where we left off, and oh my goodness, I can't zoom any further, but I did not notice last time when we ended that China made a city right next to our city, right next to our capital, no less, and that's kind of a big deal. So and on top of that, there's diamonds right there. So I think you and I both know what needs to be done, and I'm talking about war. So today we are officially going to go to war, but we are going to, at the very least, make sure we are prepared for it. We were originally going to send some troops over to this barbarian camp to kind of deal with that, but we've got more pressing matters because this is a problem. I don't like this. I don't like what they've done here. And the plus side to this little war that we're about to start is that we'll get a free city out of it. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Okay, I just had to look and see which other units needed orders besides this guy, and it looks like this builder is the only one remaining, so I'm just going to move him. I'm going to go ahead and move him, and then... But before we do head over to the next turn, there is something we have to do. We were originally producing a commercial hub and a bunch of other districts around here, but we are going to change the production on our main city of London to something a little bit more urgent for war, and that is a horseman, a battering ram, a chariot. I don't know, which unit do we need more of? We've got a horseman, we've got a spearman, and a bunch of archers scattered around the different cities. I think I'm going to need I want to say another archer, but I can't build archers anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and start production on a crossbowman. And now we are going to go to the next turn. It's going to take 8 turns to actually complete that, so we do have a little bit of a while before that's actually done. So that's a little bit unfortunate, because I do actually want to attack his city before he builds walls around it, because I don't have access to a battering ram just yet. And it looks like our city of Date is in need of some housing, and I will get right on that as soon as I finish that harbor. The population is currently capped at 3 out of 4. Well, it's almost capped at 4 out of 4. And it's going to take a considerable amount of time to even do anything to get an increased housing capacity. But anyway, we've talked a lot about the strategy and what we're going to be doing in the future. Boom. Eureka.
We are all apprentices in a craft where no one ever becomes a master.
That was very deep. But there was something I did actually want to bring up today, and that is the idea. It's a fun little idea. It's the idea that the games that we play and the things that we do when we are children have a tremendous effect on us in our adult lives, right? And okay, I was looking for a button. I didn't know if I could harvest a pasture or not, and I can harvest it. So there you go, extra food for me. Boom, baby, boom. And because we actually got the Eureka from building that extra mine right there, I don't have to use my remaining builder charges to build a bunch of mines like I was doing before. I didn't actually realize I had so many mines up and running already. I just needed one more to complete apprenticeship. So that's nice. That's really nice. Things are going well. I'm smiling. But yeah, the games that we play when we're kids, they have a huge effect on the games that we like as adults. Like, I was thinking about this on the bus earlier today. This idea that, oh my gosh.
Several closely situated granite peaks resembling tiger's teeth dramatically soar about 1 kilometer into the sky.
Torres del Paine. I'm. You guys already know I can't read, but that's a beautiful thing. We discovered another natural wonder. I do wonder if we will actually be able to make use of any of the wonders on the map, except for Crater Lake. I actually didn't even realize that this was actually a wonder right next to our city. So it's providing us with some faith and extra science. I suppose if we build next to it and some access to fresh water, that's interesting. I actually wasn't even paying attention to the fact that we had a wonder right there. That's nice. But the thing about playing as England is that it would be wise of us to expand. So maybe our next settlers should try and actually build, the new city over here, maybe next to this Buenos Aires right here, or maybe, just somewhere in this general area, because this I'm sure is a new continent, which would give us some bonuses and things of that nature. So we're thinking too far ahead. So I was on the bus. I was thinking about what games what games I used to play when I was a little kid, and the game that came up was a real-time strategy game called. Okay, so Trajan is getting a little iffy. He's telling me that I'm leaving bits of my land unclaimed, and he might actually be right about that. But
Create with the heart. Build with the mind.
nice. It was called Czar Burden of the Crown. When I was a little kid, I thought it was actually pronounced T-Czar Burden of the Crown, but it is not. So that is a fun fact for you right there. But my point is, and what I'm getting at, is that I loved Czar Burden of the Crown. I was obsessed with this game. I used to play it so often. I'm gonna go ahead and discuss. No, I don't want to make any discussions with him. Let's see if I can make a deal. All right, let's see if we can do something crazy. That city is called Wuhan. Let's see if we can buy that city off of him, so we don't have to do anything crazy. I want the city of Wuhan. I cannot accept this deal. What do you want for that city? Huh? You want some gold? You want some diamond? You want some horse? You want open borders? It don't even fit. You want my cities? You want... Never mind. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and denounce him as we prepare for war so that we won't get such a high warmonger penalty. Now, I really want to finish this commercial hub that we're building, because that extra gold income is going to be nice for us. But we are running really... We actually have a very tiny military. So this declaring war could be a dangerous thing. So Czar Burden of the Crown, I freaking loved that game, and I played it so much. It was insane how often I played it and how much I played it, and it was my favorite game for a very long time. And because I liked real-time strategy so much in that game, I didn't even really know what real-time strategy was at the time, but through playing the game, I just sort of got it. And then so essentially it caused me to then fall in love with real-time strategy for the entirety of my gaming life. So whenever a new RTS comes out, which there aren't that many, unfortunately, I get really excited. And I suppose my point in all of that... Hey, he's got a promotion. Faster movement on hill terrain, whatever. Doesn't matter. My point in saying all that is, it is truly fascinating how much the stuff that happens when we're younger messes with us as adults, right? And this is going somewhere, don't worry. Because I was hanging out with an old buddy today, Matthew. If you're watching, what's good? But seriously though, I was hanging out with an old buddy, and of course, when you hang out with old friends, you gotta talk about women. You gotta talk about the ladies and all the different things that you've been doing. And it looks like we're discovering all the city-states finally. They were all jammed on a part of the world that we had no access to. And it also looks like the majority of the fish are nowhere near my lands. There's a much higher concentration of fish in the lands that I do not inhabit, and I have the pantheon for the god of the sea, and that is very terribly unfortunate. But like I was saying, we were talking about ladies and whatnot, because whenever a group of guys get together, it might be the corny thing to do, But guys talk about the ladies, you know. When we talk about our conquests, if you will. You know, that I'm sure that's an insensitive term to think of women as conquests, but I have no doubt that women also think of men as conquests.
I've lived through some terrible things in my life, some of which actually happened.
And there we go. We're getting a nice quote from Mark Twain right there. We completed a civic, which gives us access to the Great Library Wonder, which seems kind of interesting. We might actually build that since we are doing very well in the science department. That might be something that we go for. But in the immediate time, I do want to keep the conscription policy because our units are a bit expensive and we don't have a very large gold income. So by switching that out, I will start to go into a deficit in terms of gold. But I would like to increase my production towards units. I'm pretty sure the crossbowmen. No, crossbowmen are medieval, so it wouldn't even help if I changed policies. All right, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it. But you know, I guess we're jumping all over the place today. But you know, I know I have very few female subscribers, but I will pose the question for you. This isn't the question of the day, but it is a question, and the question is, ladies, when you find when you find an interesting fella. You know, you're talking to him. He's all cute. He's got a good job, and then like, oh my god, I think I'm gonna try and get with him. Like when you find a nice guy, right? And you get that guy, right? You go out on a date with him, and he likes you, and he starts feeling you. Do you feel like, oh gosh, here we go with Gandhi with this nonsense? Get out of here, Gandhi. He's just telling me he doesn't like people fighting. But I don't care. Gandhi will denounce me the instant I declare war on China, who appears to be amassing some sort of force to combat me, which could be a problem. Another horseman. All right, so our commercial district is finished. So our gold income has increased, not substantially, but it's increased a little bit, and that is going to be good for us. But what we're going to do for now is we're going to start production on another horseman. I'm hoping that he doesn't build any walls that I have to deal with. But we'll find out soon enough, won't we? And then we got to, look at that. And we can start production on our granary over here in the city of Date. So we will be able to get our housing up and running there pretty soon. Our additional housing, I should say. But yeah, you know, but so ladies, do you think of it as a conquest? You know, if you get that guy, that yeah, I've been eyeing him for a minute. I've been looking at him and he's fine, and now he's mine. Like, is it a conquest thing for you, or is it just like, or is it just not? You know, because as a man in the 21st century, you know, we can't conquer anything. And we know for a fact that women, we can't conquer women either. We live with you. You know, we're not actually conquering you. And we actually just finished another harbor district, a Royal Navy dockyard. So now we have 2 Royal Navy dockyards, which is increasing our gold income a little bit. And then every commercial hub that we build adjacent to a Royal Navy dockyard will give us additional gold. But the problem is Leeds has a very, very small amount of production. So even if I do start on a commercial hub, it's going to take 44 turns. That's a freaking problem. But we're going to start on it, and we're going to clear out some forests and things. So hopefully we'll be able to speed that up at least a little bit before, you know. Hopefully, you know, hopefully we can make that a little bit better, because 44 turns, that's an eternity. Yeah, you know, men in the 21st century. I'm getting all philosophical because I'm drinking a beer right now. We don't have anything to conquer. You know, we don't get to go around warring with nations. I mean, I suppose civilization is a substitute for that, but it's not the same.
The purpose of education is to replace an empty mind with an open one.
And we just finished our research of education, so now we can actually build a university, which is something that I've been wanting to do because of it's just something I'm trying to trigger a boost, and I needed the ability to build universities to get that boost. All right?
If it's natural to kill, how come men have to go into training to learn how?
And there we go. I don't need to change up my policies just this second. That crossbowmen just cost a significant amount of resources. Wow, crossbowmen cost a lot of gold to maintain, but that is fine. We are definitely going to need them because China has a lot of crossbowmen as well. So we're gonna fight bows with bows. You know, you fight fire with fire, you fight bows with bows. I'm gonna build one more military unit, and it is going to be... I've used the battering ram before, but I've never actually used a catapult, so I'm gonna go ahead and build one of those things. That's gonna be the last military unit that we produce. Hopefully this will be enough to actually take over the city, and then if all goes according to plan, it'll be ours within the next couple turns. So, you know, we don't have anything to really work for. And by the way, printing is the thing that I was trying to boost by building 2 universities. We'll get to that soon. I will make sure to stop the research on printing before it actually completes. By the time it gets to about the halfway point, so in about 7 turns, we're going to stop the research on printing and then switch it to something else, and then we'll finish it off with the boost. Boom. I'm getting good at this game, folks. I'm getting freaking good at this game. Let's go ahead and finish that. Hey, we got a new envoy to send. We got a lot of new envoys to send. Everybody else has a suzerain except for... Now I'll send it over to... No. I'll send it over to these guys. This, what is that? Kumani? I'm not wearing my glasses. Hold on. I can't read without them. What makes me think I can read with them? Kumasi. Kumasi is a cultural city-state, which means... sending them 1 envoy will grant me 2 additional culture in my capital, which is something that I want. So confirm. Boom. Making progress. So we as men, we sort of need we need to have something, right? We need to have something that sort of reminds us of the old days when we used to be just men, when men used to be men, right? And we're going to go ahead and build a pasture on these deer, and that is going to provide us with some additional gold, some additional production, and additional food. You know, because the modern man is vastly different from the ancient man. The men that existed in the times of civilization, in the medieval era, were very different than the yuppies and uppies that are around today. I am one of them. I'm not denying that. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to send this trader. I'm going to send it to Sparta. No, not Sparta. Yeah, I'm going to send it to Sparta. Because I would like to become friends with Gorgo, and I do, and somebody mentioned in the comments, I think it was Jesse Date that mentioned it, that sending people trade routes actually makes them more friendly with us. So let's see if that plays out. We're sending over a trade route to the Greek Empire. So yeah, you know, we don't have anything and any way to be men, like the traditional man, like the hunter. So we say dumb things like, oh yeah, women are my conquest, but we don't really mean that, but we say it because that's all we have. And you know, can we just have one thing? We just want to have that. We we just want to have one thing. Hey, I actually was planning on cutting down all of these trees, But I can actually build a lumber mill on top of that. And on the next turn, we're going to see exactly what a lumber mill does, because I'm not entirely sure. Now, I don't... Alright, I'm going to go ahead and use this builder's last charge on building a farm, just to get a little bit of extra housing. It's by no means a lot. Farms only give half of a housing, which doesn't make any sense, but whatever. You know, what's half a person living in there? Get the fuck out of here. But we'll deal with it. Anyway, my point is, the things of old influence the things of new, and it's not just, you know, with the things that we've done in our childhood, you know, the games that we play when we're young, it translates into the games that we like when we're old. And then the way we were as a species, when humankind was in its early stirrings, from the first stirrings of life beneath water to the great beast of the Stone Age, the man taking his first upright steps. You have come far. We have indeed come far as a people, but we still have some of the urges that we used to have when we were cavemen, and we get them out by saying dumb things like women are conquest, and they are not. Women are beautiful creatures, and men are idiots. So, thank you for watching. That is enough pandering for the day. We're going to take a little break, but when we come back, we're going to declare a formal war on China, because fuck this fat son of a bitch. Okay, he's been messing with us the whole game, and it's got to stop. Whoa, okay, that got a little bit hostile, so I'm going to come in and lighten the mood with the question of the day. What are some games from your childhood that affect the games that you like to play today? Like I was mentioning earlier, Czar Burden of the Crown was a real-time strategy game that I played when I was a child, and because of that game, I love real-time strategy to this day. Empire Earth, Age of Empires, and even now Civilization, XCOM, and the turn-based strategy games, I'm falling in love with those as well. So what are some games from your childhood that have shaped you into the gamer that you are today? As always, the name of the game is Civilization VI. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.